Good morning to all my fellow dignitaries and the today participants. It's one of the good day to start entrepreneurial skills for CA professionals. And I in the forum I like to welcome as I am the CA K Nivas, Vice Chairman of Vellore branch of SIRC, and on behalf of Professional Skills and Enrichment Committee of ICA, I welcome all the participants in today webcast on entrepreneurial skills for chartered accountants. Also, I welcome Dr. Anuj Goyal, Chairman, Professional Skills and Enrichment, ICA, CA Sri Priya Kumar, Vice Chairperson, Professional Skills and Enrichment Committee, ICA, and today resource person, CA Rajesh Singh. And I will be give brief about the speaker in the later part of the speech, and the event enabler, my fellow colleague, CAS Sriram Reddy, Secretary of the Vellore ICAI. To going to that, since Ms. Sri Priya Kumar is not available today, I just go into the introduction of the chairman, Mr. Dr. Anuj Goyal, the Professional Skill Enrichment Committee of ICAI. Dr. Anuj Goyal, Central Council member for the current year of 2022 to 25 of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, a qualified FCA, FCS, FCMA, MCOM, LLB, PhD. These are DIRM. Besides that, is a 6 times Central Council member of ICA since 2004. Two decades of experience in handling our committee resources, and he is also chairman of Professional Skills and Enrichment Committee of ICA. And he also ethical. He is a chairman of Ethical Standards Boards ICA, convener and publication CDS Directorate ICA, vice chairman and Sustainability Reporting Standards Board, vice chairman of Tax Audits Standard Board, uh, and also he has hold various positions in our ICAA. He is a dynamic central counter member who is always with the prime objective to serve the members of ICAA at large and always stands with and for the members of ICAA. And we, the institute, the regional council members of both for Tamil Nadu and also the SRC of Vellore are proudly honored to host you, CA Dr. Anuj Goyal. And talking about today objective, the entrepreneur is the skilled individual who starts and operate a business. There are brain powers behind the idea of business as well as one in charge of securing the necessary funds and resources, hiring a team member, and overseeing the overall day-to-day operation of the business. Entrepreneurship path can be fascinating as well as lucrative, especially if one business doing well, as they will enjoy great deal of profits due to the high amount of equity stake in the business. However, they are also take on a great deal of risk, which is many turn into the business and the entrepreneurship program to ensure they have the skills, network, training, and resources need to navigate the highs and lows of the business ownership. The today's session learning objective is to enrich the entrepreneurial skills of charter entrepreneurs, which is highly necessary considering the recent developments across the globe. I now going to introduce our proud speaker of the day, Mr. C. A. Rajesh Singh is an eloquent finance professional, a spirited sports person, and melodious singer, and a passionate community worker. We can see several verses of Mr. Rajesh Singh today during the course of this 2 hours session. Rajesh is also a fellow member of CA Institute and an intermediate member of ICA, ICSI, and he has a rich experience, nearly 27 years of post qualification. He worked at various multinational companies based in Mumbai, Bahrain, Qatar. Rajesh has been in Doha for over 24 years, where he worked with various industries, including a major petrochemical company. He's a co-founder of Loss Adjusting Construction Support Claims Consulting and leading ERP and trading and service company. He is a managing partner of Capillary Consulting and LLC. Just now giving the space to Mr. Rajesh to take it forward.
Before starting this, that one is deliberation, I would like to invite our chairman, CA Dr. Anuj Goyal, for his deliberation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Sandeep Mishra ji, our Honorable Secretary of this very important Professional Skill Enrichment Committee, for the first time in the history of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, the leadership felt that there is great need to further enrich the skills of the best of the chartered accountants of the world, the members of ICI. So I welcome our honorable, very prominent chartered accountant, very prominent resource person, CA Rajesh Kumar Singh ji, a member of ICI and is the brand ambassador of the Chartered Accountant, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India in Doha, and is a great entrepreneur also. He has started a lot of startups also. So I welcome Rajesh Kumar Singh sir, and of course our event enablers from Value branch, Sri Ram Reddy ji and Nivas Kumar sir, and of course all the respective delegates from each and every part of the country as well as outside country. I think around 2,000 chartered accountants are with us live. That shows that how important the professional skill management is there for the membership, and the members are always very keen to see that how we can have the best of the initiatives for the members of ICAI. Friends, we are very well aware that as far as the entrepreneurship is concerned, I think the chartered accountants are best suited for act as an entrepreneur. But at times, generally, the members of ICI do think that either they can be a consultant, they can be in practice, or they can be in employment. But I can very well say that और भी जमाने में employment or consultancy या practice की सिवाय. So the chartered accountants can be very well. Kumar Mangalam Bilda is a member of ICI. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala was the member of ICI, and number of examples are there who are very successful entrepreneurs. And if we go to the basics of the entrepreneurship, we can say that it is an economic business and economic activity that is related to the continuous and regular production and distribution of goods and services to satisfy human wants. And businesses can be for-profit entities or non-profit organizations also. Businesses cater to the needs of the society, but sometimes we find that there is a gap between what is needed and what is available. This gap can be used as an opportunity for the entrepreneurs, and by some people who are ready to take risks and fill the gap by providing necessary products and services. Such people are entrepreneurs. If we talk in plain language, what is the definition of the entrepreneur? And friends, an entrepreneur is a person who is self-employed, is willing to take a calculated risk. Prime Minister Modi ji is always very keen to see that how the Indians can generate the employment for others and should not ask the employment from the government or from others. And I think that is the best thing which in normal course chartered accountants can very well go for that. Whether we are into consultancy, whether we are into practice, practically we are the entrepreneur because we are taking risk, we are providing services, we are generating employment opportunities for others. So an entrepreneur is a person who is self-employed, is willing to take a calculated risk and brings in a new idea to start a business. It is, however, important to understand that all self-employed persons are not entrepreneurs. For example, a shopkeeper cannot be called an entrepreneur unless he or she introduces a new method or idea in the business. So, if you talk of the startups, all the startups are taken care by the entrepreneurs because there is something new in the startups. New concepts are there. The process of developing a business plan, launching and running a business using innovation to meet customer needs and to make a profit is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship means organizing, developing and managing a business venture along with any of its risks in order to make a profit. Entrepreneur takes risks to make a profit. Entrepreneurship is not without risk, but entrepreneurs are not afraid of taking calculated risks. And chartered accountants are best suited because we do have the knowledge of each and everything which is needed in an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship development is the process of improving the skills and knowledge of intended entrepreneurs, enhancing the capacity to develop, manage, and organize a business venture while keeping in mind the risks associated with it. The ultimate objective is to set up the new enterprise by the chartered accountants, build the capacity of existing CA entrepreneurs, and inculcate entrepreneurial culture in the country. And who can be a better person? Who can be a better chartered accountant than CA Rajesh and Singh ji, who has gone to other parts of the world and shown the metal which is there in the chartered accountant. And friends, let me tell you, our chartered accountants are very, very successful when they do go outside country. And as an entrepreneur, they are very, very successful. I think each and every skill which is required in an entrepreneur, I think it is very well there in a chartered accountant. So I'm quite confident that when we are having Rajesh and Singh sir, he is the best person to teach us how we can try to see that the members of ICI who are already having entrepreneurship skills, how we can further enrich those skills and how we can implement practically those skills. I think that is very, very, very much needed. So I once again welcome Rajesh and Singh sir and our honorable event enablers and all the members from each and every part of the world. I think more than 2,000 members are there. We are having CA Rahul Batraji, the chairman of Bhilai chapter, the best Bhilai branch of the ICM, the best branch, the star branch of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. I will request Rahul Batraji and Minesh Jainji to please join us here and say we are having one very, very important program of Ethical Standard Board here at Bhilai branch. I am the chairman of the Ethical Standard Board also. And Bhilai branch has shown that how we are not supposed to do the different things, but how we can do the things differently. So I think entrepreneurship is also one thing in which we are not supposed to do the different things, but how the things can be done in a little bit different way. And when we do things in a little bit different way, we can be called as entrepreneur. So we are having Rahul Batraji, our honorable chairman of the best branch of the country, Bhilai branch, and very, very prominent chartered accountant, past chairman of Bhilai branch, the best branch of the country, C. Minesh Jainji. May I request Rahul Batraji to say a few words. We are talking on the entrepreneurship. Rajesh is there, the chartered accountant who is in Goa.
Thank you, Anish sir.
Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, everyone, sir. Good morning, everyone. So, just like Anush sir said, in entrepreneurship, we have to do something new. We have to think something new. As an entrepreneur, as a chartered accountant, we possess such qualification which is far better than any other human being I can say in the world. We have an advantage of being a chartered accountant. So we already have a little bit of new thinking and new innovative way of thinking. So we can use this thinking to create an entrepreneurship opportunities for ourselves. And as rightly said by sir, कुछ हटके करो तो कुछ हटके बनेगा. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul Batraji, our honorable chairman of the best branch of the country, Bhilai branch, and the past chairman of the Bhilai branch, Sri Minesh Jainji. We will not be taking further time as we are very, very eager to hear our learned guest speaker, Sri Rajesh and Singh. I once again welcome our event enablers, Sri Ram Reddy ji, Nivas Kumar ji from Vellore branch, Dr. Samit Kumar Misra ji, the secretary of the Professional Management Committee, and more than 2,000 delegates which are live with us from each and every part of the world. Thank you, thank you. And over to CA Rajesh and Singh. CA Rajesh and Singh, please.
Now we are handing over the session to CA Rajesh and Singh for further proceedings.
Can you see my screen?
perfectly seen.
So, thank you so much, everyone. Before I start my session, I'm going to talk about entrepreneurship skills required for chartered accountants. I'm very happy to share my journey, and before I start, my gratitude to ICAI for giving me this opportunity. Whatever I am today is because of this profession. Am I audible correctly? And can you hear me properly? Thank you. So my gratitude to ICAI President CA Ranjit Kumar Agrawal ji, ICAI Vice President CA Charanjot Singh Nanda ji, the Chairperson of PSEC Committee Dr. Anuj Goel ji, and thank you very much for the warm introduction. The chairperson of Vice Chairperson of PCS Committee CA Shri Priya Kumar ji, whom I met in Doha when she came, but unfortunately she is not here today. The President of Vellore Branch, CA Sriram Vikramji, the Vice President of Vellore Branch, CA K Nivasji, the Secretary of Vellore Branch, CA Sriramji, for hosting this event. I would like also to thank Dr. Sambit Kumar Mishra for coordinating this wonderful event, and I think I have been coordinating with him, so I'm really grateful for all the support he has provided. So, as we have already, this is very important topic because chartered accountants have inherent leadership skills, and we have got good financial background. So I would like to share my knowledge. I've done a lot of research on, and I've tried to summarize the key points and also my personal experience so that it is beneficial to the members. So, as you have already heard, my name is CA Rajesh N. Singh. I'm from Mumbai and currently working, I'm practicing in Doha. I'm the current ExCom member of Doha chapter of Chartered Accountants, and I'm managing partner of Capitaire Consulting LLC in Doha. So it would be unfair for me not to thank some of the key persons in my life. On the left-hand side, first and foremost, my mother, who has been instrumental in instilling good education and good human being in me. She is not highly educated, but she ensured that all of us, my siblings and myself, we have good education. And standing between me and my mother is my wife. Of course, I do a lot of community service, and Delia takes care. She is really instrumental in taking care of everything in my household. Without her support, I will not be able to spend so much time in the community and the entrepreneurship which I'm trying to do. So I'm really thankful. And the next is my sister, Babita Singh, who has been instrumental in making sure that I study hard during my college days. She was always around me. She has always guided me. So I'm grateful. And this is the right opportunity for me to express my gratitude. The next is Mr. Peter Murphy. I have worked with him for nearly 24 years in Qatar, and I call him my entrepreneurial guru because he is the first person who I have been associated with and who always told me about what is required to be an entrepreneur. And last but certainly not the least, a very prominent chartered accountant in Doha, CMI Farid, who has pushed me into community service. I'm in Doha for a long time, but like many people, I was also not in CA circle and in the community. So Farid Bhai has put me into community service back in 2010. And of course, I was very much involved as an ExCom member of Indian Cultural Center. And I'm very thankful to Farid Bhai for pushing me into something where I was not initially comfortable with. So I'll start my presentation. This is the agenda. I'm going to cover who is an entrepreneur, why one should become entrepreneur, what's the key characteristics to become an entrepreneur, and can chartered accountant be an entrepreneur? What are the various options for chartered accountants and some statistics, success stories of Indian chartered accountant entrepreneurs, and keynote from my experience. So the definition of entrepreneur, as you have already heard, Anuj Goyal ji has already touched base upon that. Entrepreneur is a person who has a vision. He has a vision, and he normally wants to establish and administer a startup venture. It's a completely new startup venture, and intention is to make difference in the society and make profit. And it's a process of starting a business for financial profit. It is most rewarding form of business, both for yourself and society, because as an entrepreneur, you make big difference in the society. There are various advantages of being an entrepreneur. I've covered some of the point, and I've got some notes as well, which I would like to share. You can be your own boss. So basically, you can be in control of all the affairs. You can make all the key decisions in your business. You can decide, key colleagues and advisors, and ultimately running the business is your responsibility. So I would like to add my own experience. I've been working abroad for over 27 years, and always wanted to take my parents for pilgrimage. I could not do in the past because end of the day I was working for somebody else. As soon as I started my own advisory firm, I was able to take my mother for pilgrimage last year. We have gone around so many places in UP where I belong. Unfortunately, my father passed away, but this was something which I wanted to do for many, many years. I couldn't do it for nearly 30 years. I've been doing various things in India, Bahrain, and Qatar. So again, because I could make decisions, it was very easy for me to do that for my family, for my mother. It's a good avenue for personal and professional growth. There is no limit. You can do anything when you're an entrepreneur, because you can along with your personal growth, you can have your professional growth as well. Next point is positive impact on society. When I used to work with a petrochemical company, and I came and joined my entrepreneurial guru, Mr. Peter Murphy. I was working with him in Quantum, and it was very satisfying for me because we knew that we are not only making living for ourselves, but also running so many families. So when the salaries are processed as an entrepreneur, you have that sense of fulfillment. You see that you're not only taking care of yourself, but so many families. So that was very, very satisfying experience. That is why entrepreneurs make positive impact on society. They are they are not seeking employment, but they are generating employment for others, which is a great thing. Create this is network opportunities. Being an entrepreneur, you meet a lot of people. You meet people for no reason. Actually, you meet people, various kinds of individuals, companies, where you learn from them. Every person you meet, you always learn something from them. This was one of the difficulty I had in my oil and gas sector, where it's in big companies, you're not able to do everything because obviously it's a huge setup. So when you're having your own business, uh, you have to do everything. Actually, and most of the time, you are the one in charge. So you have to take decisions. You're doing everything, right from marketing, from recruitment, from getting the business, delivery, collection, managing cash flow, managing expectancy of the client. Everything you are doing. So in my previous company where I was working, I was head of budgeting and reporting. So obviously, I couldn't do anything to do with HR, marketing, uh, dealing with banks. So, so that was a big challenge for me because I like talking, I like meeting with people, I like making good network. So that was fulfilled when I started having my own practice. Creating legacy, this is very important. If your business is successful, it will create legacy for others who are working with you. So this has long-term impact. You may or may not be there, but your legacy will continue. Some of the points which I have not mentioned in the pointers there, potentially you can have unlimited income. Of course, initially you'll not be able to earn as much as normally you'll get from a good job, but in the longer run, it will make a major difference where the income you can generate is unlimited. Flexibility, you can choose how much and where you want to work. You don't have to be in the office all the time. And with the modern technology, you can do work from any corner in the world as long as you've got the gadgets with you. We just need good internet and laptop to do our job as business advisory firm. It is very important that you do things which you love. You are making living out of you are doing things. You are making living out of things you love to do. Choose who you want to work with. No matter how big company you are working for, you can't choose your colleagues. You can't choose your boss. That's how it is. But when you have your own firm, you can decide. I've chosen the people I want to work with. I've surrounded myself with individuals I love working with, and that is a key aspect of being an entrepreneur. It is very fulfilling and rewarding. I've already touched base that you're not only make living for yourself, but also you're helping so many families. The next point, before I move to the next point, I would like you to see this video.
A mouse was put at the top of a jar filled with grains. He was so happy to find so much food around him that he no longer felt the need to run around searching for food, and now he could happily live his life. After a few days of enjoying the grains, he reached the bottom of the jar. Suddenly, he realized that he was trapped and he couldn't get out. He now has to fully depend on someone to put grains in the jar for him to survive. He also may not get the grain of his choice, and he cannot choose either. He now has no choice but to eat what he's given. A few lessons to learn from this. 1. Short-term pleasures can lead to long-term traps. 2. If things come easy and you get comfortable, you are getting trapped into dependency. 3. When you are not using your skills, you will lose more than your skills. You lose your choices and freedom. 4. Freedom does not come easy but can be lost quickly. 5. Nothing comes easily in life, and if it comes easily, maybe it is not worth it. Don't curse your struggles. They are your blessings in disguise.
So as you have seen in the video, we get, this is a typical, I'm sure that most of you must have seen something similar, some similar video. We get very comfortable and complacent in our job, and that stops us. I could have worked in oil and gas sector until 60 years of age. I had no issues, but I wanted to do something different, and I have tendered resignation at that time because I wanted to do something on my own. And there are a lot of factors to keep in mind. If I had become very comfortable, which was the case, I wouldn't have come out from that fantastic atmosphere. But it was important for me to take that lesson to have my own advisory firm, which I'm doing today. So that brings me to the most important part of my presentation. What are the key characteristics of an entrepreneur? And it is important, there are so many, I read so many things, and I've jotted down around 24 key points, which I want to take one by one. And entrepreneur is a visionary. Like, he has a very clear vision, what he wants to do. Without vision, you can't start. You need to understand, what exactly you want to do. An entrepreneur is always a visionary. It helps an entrepreneur anticipate the future and challenges that may arise. That is very important. The outlook helps them to make informed decisions, gives them foresight into the market trends, and encourages innovation. Self-motivated. The only person who can motivate you is yourself. There are situations where things are not going as you expected. You have to be motivated. You have to make sure that you are not bogged down because things did not work out the way you anticipated. So it is very important that they are driven by their own internal motivation rather than relying on external validation for success. So no matter what the obstacles they may face, the self-motivation helps them to be more resilient in times of stress to keep their ambition alive. They are the risk taker and they have huge risk tolerance. This is very, very important because entrepreneurs have the willingness to take risk without high risk, high reward. Like they say, no pain, no gain. So if you're not taking risk, you can't be an entrepreneur. It is never easy ride because you will face a lot of obstacles. Things will not work out as you planned, and things are a bit slow. But eventually, you have to continue doing what you are doing. You should be able to take risk. It was huge risk for me. Like when I talk about myself, many people who come in the Middle East, or I can talk about Qatar because I've been here for so long. They would like to work in the oil and gas sector because that is the best sector to work in Qatar. I was very fortunate that I got opportunity to work with world-class petrochemical company. But it was not an easy decision for me to leave from that company and come and work in the private sector initially and starting my own business advisory. But I was willing to take that risk because I didn't want to get comfortable in that petrochemical industry because I knew that I can only grow so much. And where the point I've covered earlier, there is huge potential. There is now I'm in front of I'm in the open ground. I can do whatever I want to do, and I'm not limited to just one activity, which I'm going to cover in my further slides. The next important trait is adaptable. Entrepreneur needs to be able to adjust and embrace new challenges. Things change drastically, so you can't stick to the same way of doing things. The business landscape is constantly changing, so entrepreneurs must be flexible enough to stay on top of the latest trends and developments. So adaptability is the key trait that helps entrepreneurs stay ahead of competition. The next point is problem solver. This is important. People, entrepreneurs are constantly dealing with issues and challenges. They need to be good in finding solution quickly and efficiently to take their business forward. So, from my experience during early part of my career in Qatar, I was working for a UK-based marine construction company. Unfortunately, we had a bad project in Greece and the company went into administration in the UK. Everyone had given up. We suddenly had no employer in Qatar and we were working for a project here. But we realized that it was easier for us to go and look for another job. But we looked at the cash flow of the project and we realized that there is a scope of revival because the cash flow of the project was good enough for us to not only complete the project smoothly, but also take care of our subcontractors and suppliers who were also stuck, and the bank as well, who were stuck with this in this project. So we approached the administrator, we approached our client, subcontractor, supplier, and employees, and I had this unique experience of novating the whole contract, whole project. We created a new company altogether. And not only we completed the project successfully, it was very profitable venture for every single party, including the client and the subcontractor. So we had that knack of problem solving, which worked out. We took the risk. We could have easily, all of us could have easily gone and taken another job, but we decided that we want to. There is a potential. There was an issue. There was a problem in front of us, and we came up with a unique solution, which I will remember for the rest of my life. Curiosity. Entrepreneurs, they are always curious. They want to know. They have this insatiable curiosity and always looking for ways to improve their business. They stay informed on the latest trends, technology, and developments in their industry. These characteristics allow entrepreneurs to come up with new and innovative ideas. Entrepreneurs have the knack of how can I do it better, and that makes them successful. The next trait is innovation. We have already touched base upon this. Technology is changing fast. There are so many things introduced almost on a daily basis. It's very difficult if you are not up to date. You'll lag far behind compared to others. So innovation is the key characteristics. They have to continue looking for new ways of pushing the boundary and come up with new ideas. Technology is changing fast, and one has to keep pace with it. In my previous claims consulting company, we were looking for looking to automate many things which we are doing manually. So that we decided that we will go with Zoho One. So we implemented Zoho One in the previous company, and we started automating many things. That was a good learning experience for me. We know many ERP system, but this Zoho One is an Indian entrepreneur. He's about him. So it was a good solution. They have solution for small and mid-sized companies, and it is very cost effective, and it not only allowed to automate many things we were doing, but it saves significant time. So again, this was you have to see what are the new technologies available around you, and make sure that you are keeping yourself up to date to stay relevant. And this also allowed me to partner with their local representative, D4A Solutions, who I'm doing so many projects with D4A Solutions right now, because we are their financial partner, because they do implementation. And it not only allows me to grow my business, but also stay technologically ahead of many others. Next one is product or service knowledge. Again, it's very, very important. Entrepreneurs need to have deep understanding. They need to know what they are doing and how their business works, what are the market trends, and need to understand the competition as well. This knowledge will help entrepreneurs to do effective market research and take informed decisions. You should know your strengths and weaknesses, and always never bluff about things you don't know. Keep it simple, very, very simple. Your goal should be long-term focus. Always have a plan. All entrepreneurs, it is key characteristics that they have a long-term vision for their business, and they always have plan in place. Sometimes they have got more than one plan. It is very important, because if plan A fails, they will stick to plan B, and so on. Networking and social skills. This is very important aspects of characteristics of an entrepreneur. You should be able to communicate, and you should be able to network. Successful entrepreneurs, they know how to interact with other people, create meaningful connections, and build relationships. They understand the importance of social skills for running a successful business. Networking and communication, developing strong interpersonal skills is essential for entrepreneurs. So you should be able to communicate and showcase your knowledge. Like sometimes we know the thing, but we are not able to communicate. So it is very important for an entrepreneur to express. He should be able to express that he knows he is the subject matter expert, which is very, very important for the client, that they should feel comfortable that, okay, I should go to Rajesh because I think he's the right person who will have solution for my problem. Understanding the value of self-care. This is being an entrepreneur is very stressful. You have to manage all aspects of the business. As I mentioned, that you have to manage the whole cycle. You have to have a vision. You need to have a product. You have to find the customer. You have to deliver to the customer. You have to collect. You have to pay the employees. You have to pay all the expenses. So in this process, it can become very cumbersome. So they understand the importance of taking care of their mental. It can be mentally and physically very challenging. You must have heard in the previous sessions as well. So it is very important that you need to understand and take care of yourself, because you are the key for your business, and the business will succeed only when you are mentally and physically sound. Optimism, another very important characteristics of entrepreneur. They have to always see the brighter side. Things are not always rosy as one would expect, but entrepreneur is somebody who always sees positive out of everything. So optimism is very, very important. and they should remain positive even if the situation is adverse, and they have to keep pushing. They are somebody, if I give you example of if the water is filled half in the glass, entrepreneurs are someone they see always the glass is half full, opposed to saying that glass is half empty. That's the difference in attitude. They have passion, very, very, very important characteristics of an entrepreneur. They have passion. They have passion what they are doing. They want to succeed in whatever they are doing. They must remain positive, and they have to be passionate about their work. And money will come. You don't have to do things only for money. If you are passionate, you love what you are doing, money will automatically come. It is important that passion should drive your business. Having passion also helps entrepreneurs to develop a strong sense of purpose, which can help them achieve success in the long run. It is important that, as I mentioned, that you should love what you are doing. Persuasiveness. This entrepreneur needs to have ability to convince people. Like it is not just a normal communication like you're chatting with your friend. You should be able to convince your client, convince your friend, convince your network contact, convince your contact that you are the right person. You are the right person to solve their problems. If people have problem, and there are a lot of options available to them as well, so why they would come to you? So if you have to persuade them that you are the subject matter expert, you are the best thing for their business. So that is very important trait of an entrepreneur, to be very persuasive, to make sure that people understand that he is able to communicate and push his ideas to potential clients. Structured experimentation. Entrepreneurs must be willing to experiment to find the right solution for their business. So if one thing is not working, they should not shy away from experimenting plan B, plan C, because look, sometimes one thing doesn't work. You need to immediately come up with something new. They should find the right solution for the problem. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, conducting experiments and analyzing data is crucial to help you achieving your goals. The next is tenacity. Entrepreneurs have never give up attitude. And what do you mean by tenacity? The tenacity means having the strength to keep going when things get tough. We are in Qatar, for example. The businesses they were not very good last year, but end of the day, we are in the finance sector, and people do need support of business advisory firms for various stuff, to support their businesses as well. So things were not easy, but of course you have to continue. You have to push yourself. That is where things are different when you compare with. If you are an employee, you wouldn't worry about it, because end of the day, you do your job. You hope that you have a reasonable business. You're working for a good company. You'll get your salary. But that luxury you don't have if you want to be an entrepreneur. You have to make sure that you have to push yourself, keep pushing to get the required clients, to keep yourself going, because initially it is not easy. It takes time to be successful. So it is important to keep doing. You have to have the self-belief to make sure that you cross those difficult periods. Money management. I'm going to take a little bit of time about this one. Of course, you all understand this part very well, but it's important for me to spend some time, because this is one of the crucial aspects. Knowing how to budget, how to save money, and invest in all key components, that helps entrepreneur to become successful. They should understand to maintaining healthy cash flow, and so that they can make sound financial decisions for their businesses. This is one of the most important things. I will just share with all of you. I hope you can see. This is a typical cash forecast one has to make. I've just taken one example, one simple example. So there are two components. You can see this is income. I've done it normally, say you do it for 3 years. So this is the part which I want to spend a little bit more time. Of course, some of you will definitely understand this. So the first part is to project your income, like what income you're expecting, and this is purely projection. This is the starting of doing any business. So there are two lines. I normally make two lines here. So the first line here is when you expect to get this business, and the second line in blue font here, this tells when you're expected to get this money. So of course, this is just an example. So I can mention that I'm going to get this $5,000 in 60 days, or it can become 90 days. So like similar to this, you can have all the projects. This is the income what you're expecting from the venture you're entering. So you can expect this is your income and this is your collection. I'm talking about there are two components to this. There is income and expenditure. There is receipt and payment. These are two different components. And as a chartered accountant, you will know this than anybody else, better than anybody else. That it is important to understand when you are going to realize income, but it is more important to understand when you are going to receive that income. Similarly, see, so there you can project this is your monthly income, this line, row 26. I'll just zoom it more. And this is your cumulative income. But also you should understand the receipts. This is where the cash flow, managing cash flow comes into picture, where you have to manage, you have to understand, okay, you have done the business, but when you are going to get that money is very important. So it will extrapolate. You will understand what is your cumulative receipt, what is your cumulative income. So understanding your monthly income projections, making it cumulative, understanding your monthly receipts and making it cumulative is very, very important. So this will tell you when are you going to have income and when you're going to receive the money. On the expenditure side, same thing is happening on the expenditure side. You've got direct expenses and indirect expenses. So you jot down all the expenses what you expect in your business. So again, this has got two components. You've got when you are going to incur that cost and when you have to pay. So this is where things differ. As you can see, you have incurred the expenditure in April 2024, for example, staff cost, and you are expected to pay in the same month. And this is where the cash flow management comes into picture, because you had income, but that income you are going to get in 30, 60 or 90 days time. But you have cost, you have to pay this in the same month. And this is where your cash flow shortage will come into picture. So this you have to extrapolate this into 2 or 3 years to understand what sort of money you need to run the business what you're trying to do. And this is applicable for any kind of businesses you are doing. This is not necessarily, because only the income hits will change, but the concept remains the same. There is no change in the concept. It is not going to change. It's going to be same as for any businesses. So there could be some expenses. You're purchasing something like printing charges. You purchased something for $1,000, and you also got 60 days credit from your supplier. So that comes here. So you're going to pay after 60 days. So once you develop such model, it will tell you what are your monthly costs, what is your cumulative monthly costs, but more importantly, it will tell you what is your monthly payment, the cash outflow, and what is your cumulative payment. So at any stage, you will know how much money you need on a monthly basis to run your business. And this is very, very important for an entrepreneur. These 4 columns, I think this is the most important, which I've highlighted in yellow. Row number 97 and 98 will tell you whatever net income or net loss you're making. Of course, you're very lucky if you can make profit in the first year itself. But this will allow you to understand what is your monthly net income or loss, what is your cumulative net income or loss. But this is the most critical part here, the net cash flow. The net cash flow will tell you what money you need on a monthly basis. And and if you run this whole scenario for say 6 months or 1 year, you need to check this column, this row here, and see what is the maximum money you have to inject in this. You are likely to inject in business. That is a worst case scenario. So this tells you in the worst case, you need to have X amount of money. So in case things don't work out, you can have various versions of this business plan to make sure that you take informed decision and you are able to sustain the business even if the clientele, the clientele is not in line with what you expected. And sometimes you do better than what your project. You have to just keep changing this. Like you review this every 3 months time, then it will give you opportunity to make necessary changes. Maybe you got better clients, your costs were slightly lower. You suddenly got a big client which you did not expect. It can happen. And from my experience, I think that you get assistance. So sometimes you meet people. Sometimes you get a project which you did not anticipate. You meet somebody through your networking or social skills. You meet somebody where you get a huge order which you are not expecting. But again, that might sort your net income. You might be profitable venture, but it doesn't mean that you've got a positive cash flow as well. Because maybe you've got a good business, but the client has requested that I won't be able to pay you for 6 months. I got this problem. You could have potential bad debt as well. So you have to account for all those scenarios to make sure that you understand the situation can change very quickly in the business. So sometimes you're very lucky that you are making profit, but it doesn't mean that you've got a positive cash flow. There are circumstances where you have a client, you have done all the work, the client has gone bankrupt or client is not willing to pay. It happens. It quite many times it can happen. Even if you go through the legal route, it can take long time for you to recover the money. So this is for me, this is the most important part. You need to spend lot of time, understand. That is where the vision comes into picture. You need to understand what exactly you want to do. I've done this many scenarios. This is just a rough example. I've just taken a draft. So obviously the numbers can't make out much out of the number. But if you take from the actual scenario, you will see that this is what you were expecting and this is what you were. And keep coming up with various versions. Normally, you can have a summary page where you can break it down on a monthly basis. You can have your net income, you can have your costs, you can have your whatever profit or loss you made on a monthly basis and on a cumulative basis. So that gives you some tool to manage. You can't run your own business without any tool. You need to have. These are some of the basic tools where it is important that every businessman, every person who wants to be an entrepreneur should undergo this exercise first. You need to understand what sort of money is required. They call it cash is king. So if you don't have the required cash flow, it becomes very difficult for you to run your own business. I hope I've covered this point properly here. There are a lot of cross checks. So I've done 2025, 2026, and these cross checks are very important to make sure that all the numbers match. So this is foremost one of the most important exercise one has to take before going down entrepreneurship path. So that was point number 17. Discipline is very important for entrepreneur. They need to stay disciplined to remain productive and successful. They need to stick to a plan. They have to focus on the goals and manage time efficiently. It is necessary traits for entrepreneurs. Having discipline also means being able to prioritize tasks. You have to do the same thing over and over again, and every day is a new day, and this is repeated all the time for entrepreneurs. Decisiveness, they need to be decisive and take action quickly. They should understand the importance of making decisions promptly. This is again very important for an entrepreneur, and this is a big difference between a big outfit. If I talk about working in a big company, for a small thing also they have processes. They have got so many people's approvals are required before you even submit a proposal. I'm talking about, say, if you are working for a big firm, you can't just give the proposal easily. Here, if you are in charge of your own firm, you are the one who is making decisions. So that is your key strength. You are able to turn things around very quickly, where compared to big organizations. Quick action is very important aspect. Big organizations have many hierarchy. It is a tumbling block. Sometimes it takes long time for them to do, which you can do much quickly. There will always be initial hiccup, but you'll get better. It's not easy. What is the right price when you are initially quoting. So you need to have your staff cost. Say, for example, if you are doing business advisory, you need to understand what is this hourly cost, all inclusive hourly cost of your employee. So this is a kind of margin. This is a minimum margin I want to cover my overheads. So this is the price. This is the price per hour. I'm willing to I'm willing to go for it. And you have to estimate how many hours a particular assignment will take. And sometimes what happens, actually, initially when I did some proposal, I remember the first job I did as cafeteria, I took much longer than it took a long time for me to complete that job, because obviously I was trying to keep the client happy, and I've really shot all my hourly budgets. But end of the day, client was happy. That was my first big job. But that also I got a good lesson. Then I started putting some cushion in my hourly budget. So you need to understand roughly how many hours you will take to complete an assignment. Actual could be completely different, but you'll always learn. You'll always learn from each assignment, and you'll get better with time. You need to understand what is the hourly cost. Like, these are the two simple component for somebody who is doing advisory, like in our profession, for chartered accountants. So, and you'll be able to take quick decisions. This part is extremely important. As I've mentioned earlier, your success depends upon the team around you. You need to have right people. Having a strong team is essential for entrepreneurs. They are the ones who help you to foster success in your business. Knowing people, knowing how to hire the right people. I only look at few things. I want people with a like mindset to work with me, and creating a strong team. They need to have this belief in you. They need to believe what you are saying in your vision. They having ability to build strong teams can help entrepreneur maximize their potential and the business ideas, and they'll be able to execute them successfully. This is like most of our time we spend in the office. Imagine you have to work with somebody you don't really like. So I think that this is very important characteristics for an entrepreneur. So you are working in one of the biggest organization in the world, and you don't like your boss, you don't like some of your colleagues. Still, you have no choice, because you can't choose. But here, you are making the team you want to work with. The first employee I hired, I always wanted to work with him, and very important. And everybody who joined subsequently in our various companies we have, we chose those employees, and they are the strong ambassadors. We are as good as their ability to perform, because they represent you. So they need to believe in you. You have to have the right skill set. The team needs to understand the vision of the company. They need to understand the key aspects of your business, because they are your ambassadors. Your success is depending upon how good or bad your team is. Next one is confidence, which is again another very important trait for a successful entrepreneur. Being able to believe in yourself and your idea is essential for entrepreneurs who want to be successful. Without confidence, it can be very difficult to move forward and make progress quickly. Having confidence can help entrepreneur make decisions quickly and necessary risk. So you need to be very confident in what we are doing, what you are doing. You need to have that self belief that you are the right person and you can pull this off. This entrepreneurship journey will throw a lot of challenges, but you should be confident that I will do it. Decision making, again, good decision making is paramount for an entrepreneur, and being able to evaluate different options quickly and make informed decision based on facts. You don't have to be emotional. I find it a little bit difficult, but that is the challenge of being an entrepreneur. Having the ability to think critically and make decisions with confidence can help entrepreneur succeed in any business venture. Personality traits of good entrepreneur always revolve around their leadership skills and decision making ability. Very important trait, comfortable with failure. It's like you have to understand that everything what you do will not be successful. You have to understand that failing is part and process of achieving success. They should be comfortable in making mistakes, learn from them, and keep moving forward without giving up. Learning to embrace failure and using it as learning opportunity is essential for an entrepreneur. I always say, when you try something and if you fail, you either succeed or you learn. You have to keep repeating this until you find the right success. And it's state of mind. You are as successful as you feel. If you think that you can't cope with the failure, and you should stay away from being an entrepreneur, because failing is part and parcel of being an entrepreneur. The last point is persistence. They must have ability to persist despite obstacles and setbacks entrepreneur may face along the way. Having the resilience to keep going in the face of adversity is essential for an entrepreneur who want to succeed and reach their goals. Persistence and resilience are the key components. So I've summarized, there are so many things I've gone through the key characteristics from Harvard University, from many other good resources. So I've jotted down these 24 skills, which is 24 key characteristics required to be an entrepreneur. I would like you to see this video.
Some of the most successful people in the world are the ones who've had the most failures. J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter, her first Harry Potter book was rejected 12 times before it was finally published. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He lost hundreds of games and missed thousands of shots during his career. But he once said, "I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed." These people succeeded because they understood that you can't let your failures define you. You have to let your failures teach you. You have to let them show you what to do differently the next time.
So that basically covers the points which I was discussing earlier about the characteristics. Now coming to, can chartered accountant be a successful entrepreneur? So I've summarized, I've taken, again, I've done a lot of research. I've put my own experience as well, which I've shared as and when the pointer comes. So chartered accountants, they are involved in all aspects of the business. We have rigorous training. As a CA, we deal with every facet of the organization. But a person who has fundamental appetite and interest to learn, CA, being a chartered accountant, you can utilize, it's a golden opportunity to learn and interact with. When you're working in the company, you're already dealing, if you're in a good position, you're dealing with high flyers, honkers and key people of other company. So you are dealing with the top notch, and you have got this experience. You are chatting with the CFOs and CEOs of big companies. the chartered accountants have that laddered approach. If you are a young chartered accountant, the chance is greater that you'll go into deeper areas of business. So you have worked in all aspects, like you know the basics of accounting. You have got good understanding of the business. So that is a very important trait, like for a chartered accountant to be a successful entrepreneur. They have this. The second is being in dynamic economy, they are well versed to grasp changing trends quickly. So chartered accountants have they to become a chartered accountant. Not everybody can become a chartered accountant. It is very, very difficult examination. We all know. We all have worked really, really hard, and I really feel proud that I'm one of the chartered accountant. So anyone who has been following, like say, we are in a dynamic economy right now. Things are changing very fast, and chartered accountants they are familiar with the changing dynamics of the economy. This helps them to catch new emerging ideas and areas which we have been dealing this from year to year. The first mover advantage used to be greater than earlier times, but now the advantage has been reduced over a few years, even a single one. A chartered accountant is well versed in finance, economics, and business strategy. So, which is the key characteristics of being an entrepreneur. So that is why CAs have got more chances of being a successful entrepreneur than many other professions. We have got fiscal prudence. Chartered accountant, this qualification is good for any profession and any business. So where during articleship we learn so many things during articleship. It is very rigorous. We all know. Many of the large companies have their CFOs as chartered accountants, and that allows us. If you work in a large company, if you work with various companies, starting from articleship, you are into that mode of learning. You are into that mode of what are the things required and how the businesses are run. So you get that training from a beginning stage. So that makes very important aspects, and you understand how the business can be run from the beginning stage itself. When you're doing the articleship, you can see. So that is why you have to be very articulate, and chartered accountants have that discipline. While during the articleship, during the first few years of their service, they continue to learn. This. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you are an average person, you are not chartered accountant, it will take months and years to understand how the business is run, to understand the numbers, to understand the various key concepts of finance. End of the day, you need to understand the financial statement. But we are blessed to be a chartered accountant. We already know about this. We already know the financial statements, how to read the financial statement, how to prepare the financial statement. We know the nitty-gritty. So obviously, who can be a better entrepreneur than chartered accountants? Next is the theoretical knowledge. Some of the institutes and university have, they have strict rules. They only teach students so much, but chartered accountancy, ICI is the exception for that matter. They want to develop students, they have into all-round professional. It can be judged by a variety of companies. We have got various companies coming for campus placements in ICI. Skill development of chartered accountant is truly world class for that matter. What do you need for an ideal entrepreneurial mindset? A sound and rational knowledge of all facts of the idea, strong academic and practical knowledge, which chartered accountants have, hard work. We know hard work, importance of hard work. Without hard work, you can't become chartered accountant. And I'm sure everybody has got their own story. I have as well. You have to work really, really hard. So hard work is nothing new to chartered accountant. They can work hard. They can work in any circumstances. So that is one of the important traits to become chartered accountant in the first place. So that gives you edge over anybody else to be an entrepreneur. The next 4 points now, we've got first-hand experience, and many CAs have set up reputable practicing firms, which earns them reputation and contacts. the entire process, entire experience can be harnessed for developing all-round entrepreneurship mindsets. Because you're already, once you are having your own practice, even if it is a small practice, it only grows because you retain your client and you keep adding to your clients and you're meeting with different people. And remember that your clients are also successful entrepreneurs. Some are big, some are small, some are mid-sized. But end of the day, there is always, you can learn as a chartered accountant. You can learn as a chartered accountant when you are dealing with various clients. So that makes you, that gives you that entrepreneurial acumen in your mind, like, you know, how, if he or she has done for this business, what can I do to do the same thing for my business? How can I have something similar for me? How can I learn from that? The next important point is, you know, they have already, many chartered accountants have diversified into many niche areas. You know, this is not the entrepreneurship skills for chartered accountant is not limited to only doing practice or advisory services. You know, there are while doing the research also, I personally know many chartered accountants who are doing something different and they are doing great. They are doing fantastic job. If you think about, you know, there are chartered accountants who are running successful coaching classes, for example. I have met a chartered accountant. I think he runs a booklet guy. He's a booklet guy. He doesn't practice, but because of rigorous study, because of rigorous articleship, they have that acumen. They have that business acumen. So, which is not restricted only to. Of course, you know, doing practice is nothing wrong. It is not easy. It is very difficult to do your own practice. But I'm saying that I'm trying to highlight that opens your horizon. You can do many things. You know, you can learn from your clients. You can learn from your peers, and continue. You're dealing with so many people, and people have some brilliant ideas. So you can learn from them, and you can see what you can do, yourself using your skill set, using your contacts, using your network, which is already you are getting as just because you're a chartered accountant. Next is, you know, it's very important point. As I am the ExCom member of Doha chapter of Chartered Accountants now, I have the privilege of being in so many exclusive groups where I see a lot of things happening. And Chartered ICI is, when I was doing CA, I used to see, you know, there was a lot of branding for doctors and lawyers. You know, they used to see that plus sign on the car. So of course, I don't have sticker of CA in my car here in Qatar, because obviously if I was in India, definitely I would put that sticker on my car in India. So I used to think that why chartered accountant don't do the branding. I can say that institute is very, very keen. You know, no other institute, if you take any other professional institute, they don't do branding as good as what ICI has been doing. And every committee, every new president, they have got their own vision. They are trying to push this brand CA, and I can visibly feel the difference since I have been in the ExCom member of Doha chapter for last 3 years. Apart from various branches, like, you know, Vellore branch is conducting this event today. There are many branches in India. Apart from various branches, ICI has 50 overseas chapters spread over 31 countries. And I see that, you know, that new overseas chapters are getting opened every now and then. The highest number of chapters are in USA, then UAE, very, very strong chapters. And, you know, all these overseas chapters are the ambassadors of ICI. And overall, you know, people do recognize, you know, we conduct this event professionally. So you learn from that. You know, you interact with so many learned and well-known speakers. That increases your horizon. You meet so many people. You have so many resources, so many people who have done well in their lives. You can learn from them. So being a chartered accountant gives you that avenue. You already have access to so many resources. You just have to understand. You have to understand how you can utilize these resources. And we understand, you know, chartered accountants already know about income tax, about compliance. So it is inherent in them. Imagine you have to do a business. who can be a better entrepreneur than chartered accountant? If you have to do business, without having this business, I know so many people here, they don't have any financial literacy, but they are fantastic entrepreneurs because they have vision, they have idea, they are executing. But why can't we do it as a chartered accountant? I'm sure if they can do it, we can do it better because we come from a background where we've got sound knowledge of all the taxation laws, uh, how to read the financial statement, all those points I've covered earlier as well. But that makes us, uh, that is a good ingredient. That's a great ingredient to being a successful entrepreneur. While working in my previous company, Quantum, I had we have branches in 12 countries. So that allowed me to interact with CPAs and auditors of different countries where I could interact with them. That was a fantastic opportunity, which of course I learned in a mid-sized company compared to a world-class petrochemical company. So what I'm trying to say that nothing is too big or too small. It really doesn't matter. You have to get the best out of your situation. Always motivate yourself. This is very, very important. And being a chartered accountant, you are already aware about all the compliance requirements, the taxation requirements. So I learned the taxation requirement of 12 countries. I know the compliance requirements, what is required in these countries. So that has increased my horizon. I definitely think beyond India. I've worked in Bahrain for 3 years. I'm in Doha for a long time. I love being here. And we are the brand ambassadors. There are many successful chartered accountants who are big entrepreneurs in Qatar. And it won't be fair for me to name few because there are so many. And it's good to learn from them. They're always available. You have any question? Same thing. We all need to find out who are the mentors. We need to ask them the right question, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help. The last point about being a successful entrepreneur for chartered accountant, there are immense opportunities in India. So right now, of course, this chart will explain. So this is where India is currently. This is as on 31st December 2023. So India is currently 5th largest economy in the world, not far away from Japan and Germany. So I think in the next few years' time, definitely India will become 3rd largest economy in the world. But what is notable here, see, there are two data available here. So the top part is 2023. This part is 2023. This is the GDP of top 10 largest economy in the world. And the bottom part is 2014. So as you can see, the top 10 is like US, China, Germany, Japan, India, UK, France, Italy, Brazil, and Canada. These are the top 10 economies. So we are very nicely poised here at number 5. And I think it will not take much time for India to reach at number 3. What is important to notice here is in the last 9 years, Indian economy grew by 83%, which is highest, even much more than China. China grew by 68%. And US grew by 54%. Only there are two economies in the top 10 which had negative growth. Japan had minus 14% growth, and Brazil had minus 13% growth. What it tells us that there is a huge opportunity for India. I'm always connected in India. I keep going back because it is very, very important that you get the best. The best is yet to come. India. I think the Indian companies are poised. You name it, the companies are doing well. The world is looking at India right now. We've got, everything there is a good system in place right now, and things are improving fast. There are 40 million people they're changing from lower middle class to middle class and upper middle class. The number of HNIs have gone up drastically over the last 4 or 5 years, and it is expected to continue to grow. The number of billionaires have been increasing in India as well. So there is huge potential, and being a chartered accountant, you don't have to stick to a traditional practice. Of course, you can do that. That could be your bread and butter, but keep looking for various avenues. There are many examples I have in Qatar, and also I try to do it myself, not sticking to a traditional advisory and a business consulting role only, but you can do so many other things. As I mentioned, if others can do, why can't you do? We can do better. I think that we can do better. So in the nutshell, chartered accountant, we are best poised. I think better than many other professional colleagues, and there are people who don't have normal qualification, basic qualification, but still they are very successful. So why can't a chartered accountant be successful? So it's just food for thought. Again, this slide I prepared just to show various opportunities for Indian chartered accountants, which is getting recognition. This new logo was unveiled last year, as you know, and I flaunt very proudly. I flaunt here. We have distributed to all the members in Doha chapter, and I try and carry this brand wherever I go for meetings. I proudly, if somebody asks what is this, I always proudly tell them that I'm a member of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So we have members all around the world. So there is a network opportunity. You can connect. All the information is given on ICI website. You can see you are traveling to any country. Easiest thing, you don't have to be an ExCom member. You are privileged that you are a chartered accountant. So all you can do is, you can get the details, and all the details of ExCom members are mentioned. Feel free to get in touch with them, and I'm sure they will be more than happy to help a professional colleague. And it is you are not only restricted to do things in India. World is home for chartered accountants, thanks to this ever growing network of overseas chapters. So you might have your own friend, your own relative, but trust me, first thing you need to do is, if you are going in any country, just see, do you have overseas chapters? You can get in touch with them. I'm sure they will be more than happy to support. In terms of these are the typical 4 areas where chartered accountants are working today. There are chartered accountants in practice, whether it is full-time practice, in part-time practice. They do different roles as I mentioned: statutory audit, taxation, internal audit, advisory, management consultant, forensic audit, and so on. CAs in service. Most of the successful companies have Indian chartered accountants as their CFO. That speaks about the volume and the quality of Indian chartered accountants. I feel that there is a huge improvement because this is what we are trying to do here is professional skill committee, professional skill enhancement committee is doing the right thing. It's doing the great thing because it is enhancing your skills. It is very important for chartered accountants to be able to communicate. If you are not able to talk, you have to convince, you have to explain what you can do to your clients. Anything, anything. So that comes with that gives you confidence. You have the right degree. You have to enhance your communication skills to make sure that you are more approachable. You can you don't restrict yourself in a small boundary. World is a stage for Indian chartered accountant. There are CAs in service. I mentioned, there are CAs as entrepreneur. They are doing so many things because of their experience and financial expertise. And there are many. I'm going to go through. I made some small list of Indian entrepreneurs, some of which was already covered by Goelji. There are some new opportunities. There are new things keep evolving. So you need to keep yourself updated. I know that there are many chartered accountants. They are now insolvency practitioners in India. There are many who are because of their accounting background, they are very good in IT and ERP sector. Venture capital and new startup funding is getting momentum. Capital market services, in my previous slide, a financial planner, I personally love this. I emphasize more on financial planning because what happens is, as a chartered accountant, not only you learn money, but because of your knowledge, you are able to change lives of many people who are not as good in financial market, because you have the acumen, you have the strength, you have the knowledge, you can read the charts well. You have to just hone your skills more. You have to devote more time to this, and I think that is a huge area where chartered accountant can look into. There is a good opportunity. Of course, IPO and listing services, stock market is doing great. I personally feel that stock market for the next 10 years will do better than last 15 to 20 years, irrespective of the political scenario, because the companies are more confident, companies are poised to deliver better results. If I look at the results, the companies I follow, their net profit turnover has increases by 40, 50. Some of the companies have more than double the turnover and net profit. So that imagine the opportunity you have as a chartered accountant. Let's look at some of the key well-known chartered accountants who are very, very successful entrepreneurs in India. We've got Kumar Mangalam Birla, who is the chairman of Aditya Birla Group, of course. The first person who comes into mind. I'm very proud to say that he's a chartered accountant. He's a billionaire industrialist, and he contributes for better health and education facility for weaker sections. Not many people know that he's a chartered accountant and MBA from London Business School. Next is, of course, late Shri Rakesh Jhunjhunwala sir. He's also known as Indian Warren Buffett, and definitely he has added glory to our CA profession. People know, we always relate, we always say that we are very proud that Rakesh Jhunjhunwala sir, he was a chartered accountant and he had his own portfolio. He came with a meager amount of 5,000 rupees in Dream City in Mumbai, and rest is history. His net worth was $5.8 billion as on December 2021. Roughly, he was the 48th richest man in India, and he's the pride of our profession. And it was his entrepreneur's acumen. Imagine, what he can achieve. No one can achieve something like this when you're working even in the biggest position in the biggest position in a big organization also. So that is the strength. The potential income is infinite. You can do wonders when you're good at something and when you're doing something which you love. Deepak Parikh Saab, a lot of people of course know him. He's the ex-chairperson of HDFC Group. HDFC was a small company. I've seen HDFC. Being from Bombay, I passed my CA in 1996. HDFC was a relatively small company, and look at where HDFC is one of the premier banking institutions today. And the share price have zoomed, rocketed. I'm proud to say that he's also a chartered accountant, and he has got many accolades to his name. And he was also awarded Padma Bhushan in 2006. Niranjan Hiranandani, he's also a billionaire businessman. He runs Hiranandani Group, and he's one of the top 100 richest Indian ranked by Forbes. He has got bachelor degree in commerce, and he's a chartered accountant as well. He was one of the speaker. I think it was in 2017. Virtually, we connected with him. Again, he's a visionary, hard worker, and he's a chartered accountant. This was not many people know her. Her name is Naina Lal Pidwai. She's the group general manager of HSBC India, and she is the first Indian woman to graduate from Harvard Business School. So again, she is a chartered accountant, and she is a recipient of Padma Shri from the government of India. I have a lot of fondness. Being from Bombay, I've got a lot of fondness to stock market. I've been investing since 2004. Made a lot of mistakes. I'm learning, and now I'm pushing that passion. I'm trying to learn more. And why I'm doing that? Because there are a lot of success stories like CA Motilal Oswal ji, who is the founder and managing director of Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Imagine he started his business in 1987 at very humble way, and now it's one of the biggest business conglomerate in India. Motilal Oswal, share prices have rocketed, and he was awarded Rashtriya Samman Patra Award by Government of India because he was the highest taxpayer in the country for 5 years. So again, it is a matter of pride for chartered accountant, because normally it is celebrities who are Like I know that Akshay Kumar paid, he was the highest taxpayer for many few years, but it is heartening to know that Motilal Oswal was the highest taxpayer for 5 years, and he was awarded. He also got award of excellent business achievers in financial services award from ICA, from the institute. In the same sector, we've got Nirmal Jain. I have associated with him. I've got my DMAT with IFL, and again, he's Indian billionaire businessman who is into stock market, it's capital market sector. He's the founder and chairperson of IIFL, which was known as India Infoline in the past. He's a fellow member of Chartered Accountant, and he's also done post graduation from IIM Ahmedabad. He worked in Hindustan Lever Limited, and then commenced, he commenced IIFL as late as 1995. So you can imagine what he's achieved in the last 25, 28, 29 years. There are so many, so I've selected only selected few. He's C.H. Rajesh Ram Agrawalji. He's the co-founder and chairman of Imami Group. Of course, they are one of the leaders in FMCG sector. So he's doing so many things: FMCG, paper, real estate, edible oil. So again, he has got that business acumen where instead of doing a traditional practice, he has gone and he established a big business conglomerate. All these people, what I mentioned, they have been giving employment to thousands and thousands of people and changing lives. So, we are really lucky and feeling proud to be part of the same fraternity. He is Mr. C. Arun Puriji. He is the founding chairperson of India and former editor-in-chief of India Today Group. Again, completely different sector altogether. He's into media and publicity. He's a recipient of Padma Bhushan Award from the Government of India for his contribution. So again, fantastic example of successful chartered accountant entrepreneur. So these, that brings me to some of the new age chartered accountants who have been very successful, very very young, and he's the Aman Gupta. He's an Indian entrepreneur and he's an angel investor. And he's shot to fame, because he's one of the judges in Sony TV's business reality show Shark Tank India. It's a good show. I think it has changed the mindset of Indian viewers. They started looking at things instead of only watching like Indian serials, TV serials, and news and movies. Like something like that has changed many lives. People. He has invested in many businesses, and you can see like so many ideas come. When you just sit and listen to the struggle, the success stories, and the different mindset of being an entrepreneur. So Aman Gupta is one such example where I think he got qualified in late 2010 or something. He qualified, and being a chartered accountant, he has established the electronic brand Boat. And of course, and I know that he's also a frequent speaker on various forums of overseas chapters. And some other, after doing research, I'm trying to highlight the power of social media, power of networking, and trying to share some of the names of CA and entrepreneurs. So the first one is CA Devan Raksha. He failed many times. There is a big story about him. He tried so many times. He continued failing in various businesses, but he never gave up until he got the success. Then now he's a founder of Yearbook and Marwari Catalysts. So traditionally, there are he has got a partner as well. So they both are doing a wonderful job and helping so many businesses. They are venture capitalists. They invest into new ventures, and it is heartening to say that that he's a chartered accountant. He's a fellow chartered accountant member. The next one is Abhay Sabu. He's again completely different. He's investor. He's a co-founder of Fruitox. Just a moment. So he's again something different. He is not stick to the traditional CA practice. He has done. He's a new generation chartered accountant, and he started his venture with his friends as late as 2018. And they have big dreams. They are having a big clients such as Dream 11 and Samsung. They have in their portfolio. It is basically a marketing company, and they provide ad services through talks. They are doing really well, and again, they are doing something which is not a what traditional chartered accountants do. Next in the list is C. Rajesh Magav. Means I never knew that the next two examples. Thankfully, I was working on this presentation. I came to know that the founders are chartered accountants, and C. Magav is a founder of MakeMyTrip.com. How many times all of us have done a booking through MakeMyTrip.com, but I never realized that the founder, it is a brainchild of a chartered accountant. So it was a very proud moment when I researched on him, and it has. What is the flair? This is a business. This is an example of business flair a chartered accountant can bring. Like he has used the technology, he has used his financial experience, and he created a fantastic platform for booking tickets. And the valuation of the company stands at $2.6 billion. Imagine, no matter what job you have, you can never have this kind of money or savings ever in your life. So that gives you importance of being an entrepreneur. Next one also is something unique. I tried to select something very, very unique, and now because of I've got connected with them as well. So it is always good to learn success stories and learn from that. She's CA Sonia Singhal. She's a founder of CA Job Portal. There are many recruitment companies around the world. Some of them are my clients as well. So I found this was quite unique because Sonia, along with her husband, she only does recruitment of chartered accountants and MBAs. So she exclusively, and because she has got pool of these resources where she utilizes, she is a chartered accountant herself. She has got pool of resources of chartered accountants and MBAs. So she doesn't deal with any other profession. Again, a niche, a good thought process. She had the vision. And I don't think that there are any, of course, when you are running a recruitment company, you would like to recruit all trades and all professionals. You don't want to restrict yourself to a chartered accountants only. But she, being a chartered accountant, she thought something differently, and she came up with something very, very unique, with only no one has so far. I'm sure more people will follow the suit. Next is, of course, very, very popular and famous. He's a co-founder and CEO of Yatra.com. So, of course, we had CA Rajesh. Of course, Yatra is much bigger and better. CA Dhruv Stringi. So, fantastic example for our fraternity. And the next one is, the young generation. I got connected with both of them. They are CA Divya Singhal and CA Trishla Parikh. So they both are founders of Indian crowdfunding. It is very popular in the West, especially in the US, where you do this crowdfunding, where GoFundMe.com. There is Impact Guru. There are many in India as well, but none of them has been founded by a chartered accountant. So they both are extremely talented, and they are the founders of Indian crowdfunding Share a Little, and they are doing great, and they are so enthusiastic, they are so passionate about what they are doing. So because this is not doing something which we normally chartered accountants would do, again thinking outside the box. So again, this was good example for me to share with all the members who are listening to me live and later on. A few things, CAs in numbers. This is as on 1st April 2023. We have 378,695 members as on 1st April 2023. So I've broken down, I've taken this, the source of this information is our ICI website, where the blue is chartered accountants in practice, whether full-time or part-time, orange is not in practice. So if you look at more or less, the trend is kind of early 40s. If you see people who are in practice, so highest is in central region where 45% chartered accountants are in practice, 55% are not in practice, and the lowest is in western region. So of course, Mumbai is a part of western region. Major factor, majority of chartered accountants are not in practice. There are a lot of industries, they are flourishing. So if you look at, there are 33% overall, there are 33% chartered accountants in western region. So out of 378,000 chartered accountants, there are 123 chartered accountants in western region alone. So it accounts for 33% of chartered accountants. 60% chartered accountants are in southern, central, and northern region, roughly 20% each. And if you look at overall percentage, 41% chartered accountants are in full-time or part-time practice. 59% chartered accountants are not in practice; they are in service. So just to summarize the key traits of an entrepreneur, direction is very important. Don't try to rush things. Take it easy. Have vision in mind. Keep working towards it. Keep taking steps towards it. Don't rush. Your attitude is very important. If you have a bad attitude, people will not be comfortable talking to you. People should feel happy. They should feel comfortable talking to you, because this is means I have taken this information. I've been saving it for long time. I practice it personally all the time. If you have a bad attitude, people will stay away from you. It is like a flat tire. You might have best of car, but if you have flat tire, you can't go anywhere. So same thing is applicable. If you have bad attitude, people will stay away from you. You might be the most knowledgeable person on the planet, but if you do not have good attitude, people will try not to associate with you as much as possible. You should learn to be happy. So life is not a race. Take it easy. So you don't have to come first all the time. So this is the right depiction of even if you might be first, but you are still unhappy. What is the point of being first? So you can be third, but you can still be happy. So your happiness is in your mind. You decide if you decide how to be happy. It should not be dictated by somebody else. Trying to be happy in all situations is the key. Here, your mindset is very important. You might have a lot of restriction, like you can see in this picture. He doesn't have hands, but he's willing to work hard. He's willing to go extra mile. And on the other hand, you are perfectly healthy, you are perfectly fine, but you chose to beg. So it is your choice. It is about the choice you make in your life. So this is what decides what you want. Your mindset has to be proper. Your mindset has to be positive. So again, very strong statement here from Osho. Nobody is superior. Nobody is inferior. But we are not equal either. We are simply unique. Like everybody is unique. I'm not same as somebody else. You should not be comparing. You are you and I am I. It's very important aspect, and this is what I want to share with all of you. We are all very unique. One thing we have in common, that we are chartered accountants, and that is a very positive fact. And I think sky is the limit for chartered accountants. We are all different. We are all nobody superior. We are all equal. I think this is where there is no reservation. I don't like reservation system. I think CA is one of that profession where everybody is treated equal. You are treated on your merit. You are not treated based on your religion, caste, anything. CA is very unique profession that way. This is one of my last slides. This is from Sadhguru. Just when you consciously choose to be ordinary, you become extraordinary. Just keep things very simple. Life is not a race. Enjoy what you're doing. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. in the process, maybe initially you will not earn the kind of money. But money is not everything, but eventually you will reach there. So just try to keep things very, very simple. So in the nutshell, if I want to, before going on the next slide, if I want to summarize, what are the final takeaways? In the interest of time, I can see. Now, it is best to start your own practice immediately after qualifying. Because you don't have any definite income in your mind, because you're a beginner. So you'll slowly and gradually grow. Only thing is you have to make enough efforts to make sure that you understand the requirement of running your own business. Because if you want to start business at a later stage, you're already earning certain amount of money, so it becomes very difficult. Suddenly, when you start your own business, you're not able to generate the same kind of income. So it becomes very difficult because you start comparing that, why did I start doing my own business? I was earning so much. So that you have to make sure that you have proper answer for those questions, because you have to leave your job and then you're trying to run your own business. You have good mentors around you. They will advise you whenever it is required. Have patience, as I've already mentioned. We all get opportunity to grow. Like definitely everyone will get opportunity. It is just a matter of time. You just need to keep enjoy what you're doing and keep moving forward. You have to dream big, because you will definitely get closer to your dream. If you don't have big dreams, you'll never grow. Be humble, keep things very, very simple. No matter how big you are, there is somebody somewhere bigger than you anytime. No, you take any example. You think that you're a big person? No, there is somebody who's bigger than you at any stage, at any point in time. Integrity and honesty will take your journey a long way. Don't look for shortcuts. Entrepreneurship is a journey, is a challenge, but it is very, very rewarding. With this, I end my presentation, and these are my contact details. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. This is my email address. Mobile number is 00974 here, and I'll be happy to connect on LinkedIn. So with this, I hand over to Mr. Sriram. You can connect me on LinkedIn. You can call me. You can send email. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Yep. Is it audible, sir?
Yes, Sriram.
Thank you, Rajesh sir. It was so nice, listening to you. In fact, you shared a lot of your experience. In fact, it was not so easily available. In fact, from everyone, it was honor to us actually. You could share all your experiences, which is very costly that you could have come across, because every experience that person gets is not coming free of cost. Is with some mistakes or something you would have spent every mistake some cost. In fact, okay. So that you've given us free of cost. In fact, thanks thanks for that actually. So I as part of this session, I have a few questions to ask. Actually, probably I can try. Yeah. If my voice is not audible, you can let me know.
Yeah. I can hear you clearly.
Okay. So I would take my first question. CA is in practice is also an entrepreneurship. Actually, there's no doubt about it. You were rightly telling at the beginning itself and throughout the session. And do you think chartered accountants has to change from the traditional practice to new age practice with the tech platform? There are so many things are coming up actually, which is posing little threat. Of course, you cannot take away the traditional practice, but still, the size of the traditional practice is shrinking actually. So do you think that we should adapt to the new age, the technology, one that we have been listening, US has e-lawyering for so many decades now, in fact, which is ahead of us actually. So do you think that, the future is going to be ECA, and towards that we'll have to prepare?
I think that the chartered accountant, no matter what technology comes, artificial intelligence is also posing a lot of threat on audit profession, on the way we are doing business. But end of the day, chartered accountant is a unique qualification. We rigorously study. All of us have gone through a rigorous study. one institution, fantastic institution, an organization like ICA. So definitely our requirement will never change, but you have to adapt with the changes, as I mentioned in my presentation. So you have to start looking at going beyond the traditional practice and doing something different, something unique. And one of the things I would like to mention here is you can think about partnering with various firms. Like instead of doing a solo practice, you can be partner with an international organization. And there are no boundaries today. You just don't restrict yourself. Say, for example, in the southern part, you can come to the western part, you can go to the eastern part, and you can go beyond India. You can go to Middle East, Europe, USA, Africa. The horizon has increased, and there are various platforms available who can help. But you have to take the lead. Nobody will come and put it in front of you in a platter. So one has to take the lead and start making effort to achieve their goals and to be technologically ahead of, at least at sync with what is going on in the current scenario.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. In fact, it is rightly said, the chartered accountants at this moment, we are not actually we are united in terms of the platform, but we are not united in terms of the practice and sharing the practice and all these things. We have to be a little broader, of course. That is one thing that, of course, is coming. I mean, the new age people have started doing it. In fact, I think we can expect a change in the coming decade. So that's one thing. And I would say, I would like to ask one more question is apart from the CA, of course, entrepreneurship is not only the practice for a chartered accountant. In fact, what is this session is all about is provoking the idea of doing business beyond the practice as well, right?
Correct.
So that is being the scenario. Do you think that, what do you think that is sunrise industries which can, as CA can adopt easily? And because see, we have our own restriction. We are in a comfort actually, as a CA, we are in a comfort. So
that is a good example of that mouse story I said. We are all very comfortable, and we keep eating that sugar. It is resembling to the traditional practice, or you can say any job for that matter. So you reach a stage where you find that that you have really confined yourself in this jar. You have to come out from. You have to think out of the box. You have to try and. There are many industries, where you have to just keep. Say, if I'm doing a practice in India, there are a lot of entrepreneurs in India. For example, there could be your client. You have to understand the business. Not that you want to be their competitor, but you can definitely understand. If you have 100 clients, they are doing 100 different businesses. Definitely you can get some idea out of it, like what they are doing. See, if I worked in a petrochemical company, that requires $1.5 billion investment, which I will never be able to do. So I can't really build a manufacturing plant. So obviously that, for me, dealing with a small and medium sized enterprise, I'll be taking more learning from them compared to working for a world class big company like that. So you have to utilize, you have to seek that opportunity. You have to, if you ask me, there are a lot of opportunities. There is startup funding. There are many. I'm connected with many entrepreneurs in India. For example, I connected with one lady. She runs a burger company. Can you imagine that somebody is giving competition to the brands like McDonald's and KFC and Burger King? So she has around 400 outlets in India because there is a huge appetite. Of course, there are options available in overseas as well. But I'm overseas, but I'm also looking at India because I see that the future is in India. So somebody is in India, they have to see what options they have available overseas. Try to balance things out. If I restrict myself only to Qatar, tomorrow things might change here. You never know. The market is not as big. Our population is 28 lakh people only stay in Qatar. So that where if I take a small part of Bombay, it is more than that. So the number of clients are not that many. So if you try to compare with India, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir. As one important question that I would say is any business profit is very important, no doubt about it. How important the process is.
I think the process is also very important. You need to understand the business. You have to jot down the process because the standardization is very important. Because if you are delivering to a client, say if you're running a practice, if something goes from your office, whether you send or you might have 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 employees, depending upon the size. You have to have a process. If you don't have a process, everybody will have their own format. I'm trying to give a small example here, where imagine your client gets different format from your colleague, and you send a different format. So they will not tell you anything, but this is where your professionalism is gone into the bin, because they'll say, okay, they don't have a small process in place. They can't take care of their own business. How can they help my business?
True. Yeah. Yes, sir. And in fact, like the profit, of course, like connected to the profit related question. Like in today's scenario, like we have been seeing like the companies who are in loss also is, in terms of their valuation, is very high. So profit is not only the criteria for the valuation, and there are a lot of other criteria involved. In fact, like what do you think? Like we have to focus, like when we get into a business. What do you think an entrepreneur should focus about the brand building? More than the profit making in the short run.
Incidentally, recently we have completed one business valuation for one entity in Qatar, where
Okay.
it's a medium-sized company, but they are in the right sector. They are serving oil and gas sector in Qatar, and they've got a huge order book. So the valuation completely changes because the outlook is far better, much better compared to their history. So they're able to project that like, look, that we have been in this business for a long time. We have the technical know-how. We know how to do the work. We have sufficient amount of clients around us, and we are getting enough business. And the country has a huge opportunity in the oil and gas sector. So their valuation will change accordingly. Coming to chartered accountants in particular, you have to build good brand for yourself. You have to build a good brand around you. That is where your networking skills, your social skills comes into picture. That is important. It will take some time. It takes some time. You have to start, and you can see there are many chartered accountants. I'm connected with them on LinkedIn, and they've got thousands and thousands of followers. Some are into millions as well. So that creates your brand value drastically. That enhances opportunity of joining with some other chartered accountant or some other businesses.
Thank you, sir. My questions are over. Thank you so much for your patience and answering the question.
Is there any other question in the chat box? I don't know. I'm not able to see.
No, sir. I think no chats have come.
Okay, that's fine.
Nivo sir, are you there?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'm there. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
I
you
can't
can
see the video now.
Yeah.
Siddhant sir, you may continue.
Yes, Siddhant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. So I would summarize, like, in fact, like it was so good, like, you are touching upon various good things about CA, why he can become a chartered, what do you say, like entrepreneur, in fact. So one few things that I could recall from your discussion is like, we are the best people in analyzing the business. In fact, like you take a internal audit. We cannot start an internal audit without knowing the business model of the client. You should go and understand the business behind the process behind the business, and you will understand where is the points and where is the control you can the controls are established and where is it is missing, and all these things. You'll understand the whole loop of the the business. So
Correct.
obviously, like the best people in understanding the business, and unfortunately, we are not into businesses. Not everyone is a thing that probably we'll have to come out and start doing it. So that is one the one good thing that you started at the beginning itself. Like it was good to listen, and of course, like we possess both the business logic as well as the financial the knowledge. This is an added advantage. The people who
And taxation.
I've seen, like
taxation.
yeah,
Taxation.
that is That's one good thing. In fact, like a lot of people that who do business and successful, they always say like if you go and ask on financial, they'll say like I don't know. You go and ask your my CA, my auditor only knows it. So that is
Correct.
the answer which comes majority of the people like which is a disease in fact in the business world as well. So
Yeah.
we probably we can overcome, and we are good in that way as well. That is one this thing. And you were talking about like the comfort that we have to live and come out actually to start the entrepreneurship, because we are comfortable in what we do actually, like within the small world that we are around. And of course, we'll have to think beyond it, like beyond the region, beyond the country, and we'll have to think global. So there is one important provoking idea that I mean the words that you said, in fact, like which is there in my mind, in fact, like to recall here. In fact, thank you so
I'm
much.
happy to hear. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Like there are a lot of discussions, and you are giving so much of examples. Some of the videos that you were playing was like it's good to see that a lot of the ideas and information is coming out of that, in fact, to interpret. So thank you so much, sir, for your presence here and giving a very good provoking thought of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sriram.
Thank you. So I would like to continue with my word of thanks. So it's been an honor for having this webcast, like the people dignitaries, like talking about the entrepreneurship skill for chartered accountants, organized by Professional Skills Enrichment Committee of ICI. And on behalf of the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee, ICI, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our speaker, CA Rajesh Singh sir, for enlightening session, and CA Dr. Anuj Goyal, Chairman, Professional Skills Environment Committee, ICI. Sri Priya Madam, she couldn't make it today, but still we thank you for accepting the invitation. For some reason, she couldn't make it, and there, your guidance of like in this meeting, in fact, obviously, sincere thanks to event enablers, Mr. Rajesh Singh sir, Professional Enrichment Committee, ICI, and other stakeholders made webcast memorable one. Finally, would like to thank my vice vice chairman, like of Vellore ICI, who was also out of his. Though it was a short notice for him, but he could make it for introduction session. Thank you so much for your enlightening session. In fact, we would like to spread this word to the members of our branch as well to make use of this whole session. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.